Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video. This episode, last episode you guys saw me create like basic design for an apartment building, new apartment building that is. I'm not gonna do the whole like apartment construction number like 5,000 or whatever because honestly, that format got old and tired really quick, and honestly, I don't think it's all too necessary in this case anyways, because I don't think this is going to take nearly as long, thankfully. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, that's 12. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, go. Okay, just wanted to make sure I'm not miscounting. Put as much of this stuff away as I can so I can distribute the coal I have in my inventory. Man, I guess this would go in here, wouldn't it? Alright. Alright. There we go. Alright. Just gonna make 12 stacks of stone. I don't know how much stone I'll need for this building. I don't think it's quite 12 stacks. I think it's a little less than that, but I want to be sure that I'm not getting too little, because I sort of just want to have everything ready to go and then just build the building, right? Now this is going to take about, I think, 10 minutes. So, in the meantime, hello Dave, how's it going? I'm going to listen for an answer this time. And I'm just going to do my best to get some experience levels. The sword is almost broken. I don't think I'm going to repair it because it's not a very good sword. So I think I might just have my chances with getting a newer, better sword when, that time comes. But yeah, I'm going to just get experience. And this video will end when I have all the stone melted. Alright, next time we're actually going to be doing the building, but this episode I figured I don't have that much time to be recording, so I might as well just spend it doing Monday menial tasks, which, I mean, granted is kind of a shift away from the extremely building focused episodes that have been going on for the past almost month, so I guess this is kind of a refreshing break in a way. I know in real life, 3-story apartment buildings are usually a lot shorter than this, because about 3 blocks here, no, 4 blocks here is a story, right? Actually, it's more than a story, because the story's 12 feet and this is about 13 feet, right? So, and then, but a single floor of this building is not 13 feet, but rather 16 and a third, right? As opposed to 12 like most buildings. So, in reality, this building should be about like 30% shorter. It should end like there-ish if it were a real life scenario, but it's not real life. Therefore, these buildings are bigger than they would realistically be. So, there's some discrepancies to that. That being said, I feel like there's actually kind of a benefit to that, because it means I don't have to do as much work to make this town feel big, you know? Like, this is easily the largest building so far. Right, like this, my house, for example, took about 5 episodes to make. This took 13, so... You know, there's a big old difference with this building compared to that, or my house behind it, or the one coming up. That's going to be about the same height as it. I mean, trying to think of a concise way to put this. Brick is the single most tedious building material I could have made the building out of. Outside of, like, maybe obsidian would have taken longer to get, but the brick is just about the most time-consuming material I could have built this thing out of. So, don't expect that many brick buildings. Because I have to go further and further out each time to get more brick, because there's going to be less and less clay in the surrounding area. Which, you know, obviously makes throwing together a building really fucking difficult. Hence why this next one is being made out of stone. I'm hoping an update will come along soon that adds more building blocks to the roster, because currently pretty much the only, like, 3 buildings I can make are wooden houses, brick complexes, and stone complexes, which is not... It's not very diverse. So I'm hoping that with the next update, there's going to be some more blocks coming along, or at least blocks that I can use to add some much needed variety to these structures, because currently after this building, well, I guess it's going to be a whole bunch of row apartments, but after these row apartments, I'm not really sure what else there is to make that's going to diversify the city theme, because as much as these brick and sandstone buildings look nice, and as much as the stone buildings also look nice, there's not much else other than the brick buildings and the stone buildings. So maybe a 3rd or 4th sort of building palette would be enough to fully diversify the city, because as it stands, there's only really 2. Rant over. Oh, you have a nice little helmet. I mean, you're gonna die all the same anyways, but I mean, the helmet's kind of charming. This thing is almost broken. Which means that I'm gonna run out of sword before I run out of... Gonna run out of sword before I run out of experience levels to get, but That'll be okay, because it's not that hard to get to 30 levels of experience. It just takes a little bit of time. Like 2 or 3 nights out just killing monsters, and then you have 30 levels of experience, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things is not that challenging. Yeah, okay, this thing can break any seconds. I don't want to get any. I want to avoid the creepers for now, because if this thing breaks while I'm fighting a creeper, then I'm really in trouble. These creepers are a very take it or leave it kind of monster to fight. Either you kill them or you leave them alive and intact, and there's not really an in-between with them. So, well, there's not really an in-between with them unless you plan to run away mid-fight, which is usually a bad idea. See, there, just broke like that. Alright. Nope, just run home, just run home. There's a creeper on top of the roof, but I don't think it's gonna come and get me, because that'd be stupid. That would pretty much just kill it just by jumping off the roof. So, all right, there's my last 2 diamonds going. So, probably make minimal use of my shovel and pickaxe, so I can preserve them as long as I can. Because, I mean, you've seen how unlucky I've been with my mining trips. It is going to take a long-ass time, given my luck, to get any more diamonds. So, I'm going to try savoring what I have as long as I can. Suppose I can take this time out to say I appreciate that you guys are still watching the series. I mean, I guess when a series is this long, it's sort of impossible to really maintain the same audience watching it the whole way through, because nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to watch a series for this long unless it's like a podcast. But even then, like with a podcast, there's some intrigue in watching from the beginning. Here, not so much, right? Because there's very distinct, like, periods of episodes that divide the series, right? We have episodes 1 through 10, where it's a mishmash of trial and error, corrupted world files, etc., right? Going in and out of style so quickly. And then there's 11 through 100. That's one big world file, right? One sort, and that's how I sort of define the periods of the series, is by what save file I'm on, right? So first 2 save files are 1 through 10, and the whole sort of ethos of those first 10 episodes is that there's no real consistency within the series, right? It's sort of chaos that you can kind of pick up at any episode, because it's not really, it's sort of like Black Mirror in a way, because you can sort of just watch at any episode and not really have to care that much about a larger context, connecting everything together. And then there's 11 through 100, which is all one world save file, where I did a lot of things in a very tight, compact area, right? I just focused on making as many small builds as I can that eventually filled out the entire area, more or less, right? So, And then there is 101 through 175, where I did more or less the same thing as I did the first save, except there's a lot more tools at my disposal and such, right? Not to mention I'm also sticking to a singular defined area a lot more, as opposed to expanding my scope if need be. Right, I was very much confined to that town that I initially stayed at in episode 101 all the way up to 175. And then we're here, where I'm taking a very different approach, where everything I have is a lot more spread out, right? And a lot more based on the bigger picture, as opposed to all the little things. And this is, I get why a lot of people aren't watching this one as opposed to what came before, because since it's a bigger picture type thing, a lot of the context is relying on there being previous episodes to this series, whereas before, in some way or another, you can tune at any moment and just see a different thing going on. Here, it's all part of one bigger picture, so if you don't really see it from the beginning, then it might be a little more difficult to understand why I'm at where I'm at now, what I'm doing, right? Just fucking. You don't just teleport away, asshole. Although I guess you can, because that's exactly what you did. Oh, hey, are you different? Are you different? Might be a different guy. Well, either way. Let's go over to the basement, and the stone should be done, which means the episode is pretty much over. So I'll take this time out to continue with the point. Well, wrap up, rather, the point that I was making, which is, I appreciate that people still tune into the series. I appreciate that you guys are still watching, despite the obvious notion that you could practically never possibly know the full story of what's going on, unless if you've seen like the past like 80 or so episodes of the series. But you know, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's not often that I actually get to have an audience that watches along and tries their best to tune in as much as possible. Like usually the kind of audience that I was getting before very much was coming in and out, but I'm seeing the same faces pop up from time to time again, which is really surprising to me, because that's not at all the kind of audience that I had when I started this series. So thank you, really. I feel like the best audience you can ever have is an audience that is not coming for the content you make, but is coming for the person who is making the content. And it really does feel like, at least to me, that I do have that audience. People are coming to see me, which is really it's absolutely fucking amazing. I can't thank you enough. So I'll try my best by wrapping up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.